Spider-Man.
So it's been about a week since Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Dr. Doom in the MCU moving forward, and ever since then, people have been going crazy with all of these different theories, how they're going to pull this off, what storylines are they going to pull from with the comics, or are they just going to go a completely different route with the Russo brothers telling an original story. It feels like the first time in a long time where we're able to sit and theorize about a character's casting and the plans for such a massive character in the MCU. And of course, with the next Avengers title being Doomsday leading into Secret Wars, one of the biggest, if not the biggest Marvel event, we have a lot of questions. One of the biggest questions is, well, how are they going to pull it off? How are they going to make Robert Downey Jr. a new character when he's the most beloved character as Iron Man? In this video, I'm going into one specific theory suggesting that Robert Downey Jr. is not the only Dr. Doom that's going to be in the MCU. In fact, there's a possibility that after Secret Wars, everything else is going to change. So before we get started, if you guys could like this video, let's try to get to 50 likes. We're also on the road to 2,000 subs. We're getting so close. So click that button. It's free. Now let's talk about this theory. So obviously Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is one of, if not the most popular and beloved characters in the MCU. He started it all off with Iron Man being the first film in the MCU and took it all the way to Endgame with the perfect send-off. Ever since Endgame, the MCU has gone into the multiverse saga where some things have been seen as mixed, some things have been really good, some things not so much. We had the introduction of the next MCU big bad with Kang the Conqueror being shown in Loki season 1. It was so exciting, super hype, and then of course we get Quantumania that completely changes people's minds on the character. While I do personally think Quantumania was a ton of fun, there were some issues with it in regards to Kang the Conqueror not really giving off the same vibes as the big bad of the grand multiverse. What he showed was menacing, but having him being taken out by Ant-Man in his first big movie appearance doesn't really set him up for this big bad Thanos level threat that we know. And then we go into Loki season 2 where Kang is still very much present in all of his variants, and then we see Loki kind of take his place. So if this is the last time we're seeing Kang and we're suggesting that Loki fixed the multiverse issue, replacing He Who Remains and actually controlling the universe by defeating Kang, not in a physical combat way, but in a more timey mental way, I really like that. And honestly, it's a good enough send-off for the character, but I don't think they're done with him yet. The post-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp shows tons of Kang variants, the Council of Kangs that was going to lead into Kang Dynasty. But now with the recent reveal that Avengers 5 is now being named Avengers Doomsday, we know Dr. Doom is going to be replacing Kang as the big bad of the MCU, moving forward all the way until Secret Wars. Now there's two runs of Secret Wars. We have the originals by Jim Shooter, and then we have Jonathan Hickman's run in 2016. I'm currently in the process of reading Hickman's comic book run with Marvel. I just read Fantastic Four. The implications of that in regards to the movie that's coming out is mind-blowing. There's so many grand concepts that are so hard to tackle on a film scale, which makes me kind of lean into the point with this video is how they're going to do Dr. Doom. Reading these comic books and seeing how central Dr. Doom is as a character, having Robert Downey Jr. play him could work. The general public seems to be pretty excited about this, while the die-hard Marvel fans are kind of questioning if this is going to work at all, or they're just cashing in with RDJ returning to the MCU. However, with RDJ saying that he would only do this if the Russo brothers came back, I have a feeling the story that they have laid out had been thought of way long ago, maybe during the times of Infinity War and Endgame. I'm guessing they saw a broader plan, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Russo brothers were in fact attached to multiple Marvel projects, kind of serving as directors on a lower level, kind of making sure the story goes a certain way leading up to Secret Wars. Bringing RDJ back, going from playing the most beloved character to one of the most evil villains in all of Marvel Comics, is a huge jump, but it's so crazy that it might work. I said that in my previous video, but here I want to talk about the possibility that RDJ isn't the only Dr. Doom. We know in our current MCU there is no Fantastic Four, there is no Victor Von Doom, there are barely any mutants. However, in the separate universe that will feature the Fantastic Four in the upcoming film next year, we do know that there is a Fantastic Four. We don't know if there's mutants or Avengers, but it looks like there's going to be a Dr. Doom. And it looks like RDJ's Dr. Doom is going to be from that universe coming in to our Sacred Timeline 616 universe. We also know Galactus is going to be playing a big part in this movie, and while there are hundreds and thousands and millions of multiverses out there, there is only ever one Galactus. Same with America Chavez. There's only one America Chavez that exists, and I'm wondering if they were going to do the same thing with Dr. Doom. However, they look the same as Tony Stark, so I don't know if that would work. My theory is that the Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four universe that's going to be introduced in the Fantastic Four film is going to be brought over to the MCU, but he's not going to be the only one we see. Perhaps there's another Doctor Doom, a Doctor Doom that we get the origin story in Latveria with his mother selling her soul out to Mephisto and Doom going out to save her soul being his main objective, leading him to meld the worlds of magic and science and become this ultimate god figure. Not necessarily starting out as an evil character, but he starts to work with these heroes, and their big bad is the RDJ Doctor Doom that he will eventually defeat, but in this process turns evil and replaces him, becoming God Emperor Doctor Doom, which leads into Secret Wars. We know that there are variants in the Marvel multiverse. We've seen multiple Lokis, multiple Wolverines, many different characters. However, we haven't been introduced to any Doctor Dooms, but we have been introduced into multiple versions of the Fantastic Four. We've seen John Krasinski as Reed Richards, we've seen Johnny Storm return in The Void, so it's hard for me to believe that there aren't any more Doctor Dooms, and if there is only one Doctor Doom, why does he look identical to Tony Stark? So if we have multiple Doctor Dooms, we have RDJ's evil Doctor Doom being the main focus of Avengers Doomsday, but at the same time, we have a variant Doctor Doom who starts off kind of benevolent, but turns evil at the end, leading into Secret Wars where he controls Battleworld and he controls everything. Battleworld is essentially a world created by Doctor Doom, a perfect utopia where he rules over everything even though all the other universes are destroyed. Also, I'm kind of paraphrasing because I haven't fully read the Secret Wars run by Jonathan Hickman. I'm going to be reading it very shortly. But let me know what you guys think about this theory. Is it possible that there are multiple Victor Von Dooms in the multiverse? Yes, I totally believe that. And I honestly think it would be easier to stomach RDJ being Doctor Doom if we had another one that's going to take place of him and kind of continue on after Secret Wars. Because Doctor Doom isn't a character we're going to do once and be done with him. The Fantastic Four are just being introduced, and I feel like they're going to be present for the next 10 years of the MCU. And RDJ is a little bit older of an actor. How long is he going to keep playing these characters for the MCU? I don't see him playing Doctor Doom for 10 years. After Secret Wars, it feels like there's going to be some sort of reset, and we're going to go into the mutant saga where we finally get all of the X-Men. But at the same time, I feel like characters such as the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom could be still present after Secret Wars. It's just going to be different. So let me know down in the comments, do you think there could be multiple Doctor Dooms in the MCU multiverse? I think there is. There's plenty of theories to go around. Leave your comments, like the video, subscribe, and I will see you all very soon.